In a world full of emotional reactions, fake positivity, and people desperate to be liked, most individuals are mentally fragile. They break under pressure, submit to judgment, and live like pawns. Today, we are going to fix that. 1. Embrace strategic self-interest in this world. Every action either strengthens your position or weakens it. And those who fail to understand this live their entire lives as pawns on someone else's board. Most people move based on emotion, approval, or guilt, constantly asking themselves, will they like me if I do this? Rather than, does this serve my long-term gain? This is the mindset of the weak. To become mentally unstoppable, you must purge the disease of approval, seeking and replace it with a cold, calculated sense of strategic self-interest. This doesn't mean being openly selfish or reckless. That's what the foolish do. A true strategist operates with subtlety. They move with purpose, calculating every step not for immediate gratification, but for positioning, leverage, and future advantage. When you act out of impulse, you make emotional decisions that benefit others more than yourself. But when you act with strategic intent, you become unpredictable, controlled, and powerful. Notice how society conditions you to feel guilty for putting yourself first. From childhood, you're taught to be nice, to share everything, to put others before yourself. Meanwhile, those who rise to power do the opposite. They protect their resources, their energy, their mind. They do not move unless it serves them. This is not cruelty. This is survival in its highest form. You must begin to see every yes as a contract and every no as an act of power. The moment you agree to something that drains your energy without giving you leverage, you have made a silent declaration of weakness. Strategic self-interest means asking yourself before every decision, how does this benefit my position? If the answer is unclear, you observe, you wait. You don't move just to appear active. Movement without purpose is just sophisticated self-sabotage disguised as productivity. The weak hurry to prove themselves, exposing their intentions and seeking validation. The strong stay silent, protect their energy, and act only when necessary. When you learn to delay your response, to detach your emotions from your decisions, you begin to operate like a strategist rather than a reactionary pawn. Strategic self-interest is not about greed. It's about preservation of power, energy, and influence. Those who fail to master this will forever be exploited by those who have. Most people don't lose because they are incapable. They lose because they are emotionally predictable. The moment someone knows what triggers you, they own you. Emotional detachment is not about being numb or robotic. It's about refusing to let your emotional responses become someone else's weapon. When someone disrespects you, they expect an instant reaction. They want you to lash out, to defend yourself, to prove something. But the moment you react, they've pulled your strings like a puppet master. A Machiavellian mind understands that emotions are powerful, but only when they are controlled and directed with purpose rather than unleashed in chaos. Notice how the world constantly pushes you to be authentic and express your feelings, but what they really want is for you to expose your weaknesses openly, to show your pressure points so they know exactly how to control you. The strong do not reveal their emotional map. They feel, but they do not broadcast. They observe, but they do not react on impulse. In a world full of emotional outbursts, the one who keeps a calm, unreadable face has an almost supernatural advantage. People underestimate you when you do not react. They get confused, even frustrated, because they cannot predict your next move, and unpredictability is power. Emotional detachment allows you to make decisions based on strategy rather than ego. Ego wants revenge immediately, but strategy waits for the right moment when the impact will be irreversible. Ego wants to prove a point, but strategy wants to secure the win quietly. When you detach from emotional impulses, you stop playing the game they set for you and begin shaping one of your own. Think of how many times someone provoked you just to see if they could make you lose composure. Think of the opportunities lost because you reacted too soon. The Machiavellian approach is to let your enemies believe they've gotten under your skin, while internally you remain untouched, calculating, waiting. Emotional detachment is the art of watching chaos unfold without being dragged into it, using the emotions of others while keeping yours locked behind an unbreakable barrier. 3. Learn to disguise your intentions the moment people understand your true intentions. They begin to calculate against you. They prepare defenses, they warn others, and your element of surprise disappears. Most individuals announce their goals loudly in an attempt to gain support or admiration, but in doing so, they reveal the entire blueprint of their strategy. And once the plan is visible, it becomes vulnerable. A Machiavellian mind does not move this way. It advances under a cloak of normality, giving nothing away, appearing harmless while building leverage in silence. People are not threatened by what they do not see. The most powerful moves are made when everyone believes you are complacent, distracted, or uninterested. That is when guards are lowered. That is when access is granted. To disguise your intentions means to operate in a way that makes others misread you. You speak less, you reveal only fragments, and you let assumptions do the work for you. Society teaches people to overshare in the name of transparency, but transparency is often just a self-inflicted disadvantage. When people know what drives you, they can manipulate you by offering fake opportunities aligned with your desires. When no one knows your angle, they cannot control your direction. Disguising your intentions is not about lying loudly, it's about presenting neutrality. You don't argue, you don't defend, you don't justify. You nod, you appear understanding, even agreeable, while your real objective remains hidden beneath layers of subtle misdirection. This creates a psychological fog around your presence. People begin to underestimate you, thinking you lack ambition or direction, and that underestimation becomes your greatest weapon. When the time comes to strike, they are unprepared because they believed you were passive, indifferent, or simply incapable of such a move. Watch how quickly people try to extract your plans with casual questions like, "So what are you working on?" or "What's your next step?" These questions aren't always innocent. Some ask out of curiosity, but many ask to measure your trajectory and prepare their counter. A disciplined mind gives nothing away. It smiles, it nods, it keeps talking without saying anything real. Because once you learn to disguise your intentions, you stop living like a piece on the board and start moving like the one who designed it for. Exploit perception over reality power rarely belongs to the one who is right. It belongs to the one who controls how reality is perceived. Most people believe that truth alone wins, but truth without influence is powerless. Those who rise in life are the ones who grasp that humans do not respond to objective reality. They respond to emotional narratives shaped by perception. This is why reputation can be more lethal than fact, and why a cleverly crafted image can open doors that mere competence cannot. A Machiavellian strategist does not waste time trying to convince the world of the truth. Instead, they learn to shape what the world believes. Perception is a weapon. It can be used to disarm, to intimidate, to mislead, or to gain loyalty. You can make people underestimate you by acting indifferent, or you can make them fear you by projecting calm authority. The key is understanding that people fill in the blanks of what they don't know. If you remain silent and composed, they will create their own version of you in their mind, and often that imagined version carries more power than your real self ever could. This is the secret of influence. Let them believe what benefits you. Notice how quickly people cling to narratives. Give them a rumor, a gesture, a subtle hint, and they will do the rest. They will talk, assume, exaggerate, and spread the perception for you. This is why powerful individuals rarely clarify or explain themselves. Explanation invites judgment, but mystery invites fascination and caution. When you understand this, you no longer rush to defend your name or correct misunderstandings. Instead, you begin to ask, does this perception weaken me or does it serve me? If it serves you, you let it spread. Reality is limited by what actually is. Perception is limitless because it exists in the minds of many, and when many believe, perception becomes its own form of truth, influencing decisions, shaping opportunities, and rewriting outcomes. The weak fight to be understood, the strong focus on being effective. They do not waste energy proving themselves. They channel it into crafting an image that does the work for them. 5. Turn setbacks into strategic leverage. The average person sees failure as an ending, a sign that they weren't good enough, and they retreat in shame. But a Machiavellian mind sees setbacks as raw material, something to be reshaped, repurposed, and turned into a weapon. When life strikes you down, you are presented with an opportunity to collect data, to understand the weaknesses in your structure, and to come back with precision rather than blind ambition. Most people are too emotional in defeat. They take it personally, they feel humiliated, and in that emotional chaos, they forget to extract the lesson. But those who rise study their falls like a strategist studying battlefield maps. A lost opportunity can reveal who truly supports you. A betrayal can expose hidden enemies and teach you how loyalty operates. A failed attempt can reveal the weak points in your approach, giving you a chance to return with a version of yourself that is untouchable in those areas. This is how setbacks become leverage. They give you information that success could never show you. Success often blinds, making you complacent. Failure, when observed without ego, sharpens you. It strips away illusion and forces you to evolve. The weak try once, fail, and label themselves as defeated. The strong understand that the first attempt is often just reconnaissance. They don't emotionally attach to outcomes, they focus on gathering power. Imagine treating every failure as a message rather than a verdict. Imagine using every disappointment as a way to refine your strategy while others drown in their feelings. That is how you create an unstoppable momentum. People will watch you fall and assume you're finished. Let them. Their belief in your downfall becomes your camouflage. While they celebrate your supposed end, you are quietly reconstructing, recalculating, and preparing your return. And when you rise again, this time equipped with the knowledge of your previous fall, you don't just come back. You come back with leverage. Setbacks are not chains that bind you. They are hidden weapons waiting to be claimed by those who know how to turn pain into power. 6. Adopt a predator's patience. Weak minds rush. They crave immediate results, immediate revenge, immediate recognition. This desperation exposes them. It makes their moves predictable, their emotions visible, and their intentions easy to dismantle. But a predator does not rush. A predator observes. It waits in stillness, calculating distance, timing, and probability. It knows that striking too early wastes energy and striking too late loses opportunity. This is how power is gained, not through frantic action, but through deliberate timing. A Machiavellian strategist embraces this truth and develops patience not as a passive trait, but as an active weapon. Patience in this context is not about doing nothing. It is about controlled restraint. It means you are constantly gathering information, reading patterns in people's behavior, and positioning yourself without drawing attention. Those driven by impatience expose their hunger and become easy to manipulate. You will notice that people who rush to prove themselves often reveal their weaknesses in the process. Meanwhile, those who hold back, who do not feel the need to announce every move, create an aura of mystery that unsettles others. When you adopt a predator's patience, you stop reacting to every stimulus. You choose your engagements. You start seeing life as a long game rather than a series of desperate sprints. Instead of forcing opportunities, you allow them to ripen. And when they do, you strike with precision, leaving no room for recovery. This mindset makes your actions heavier, more impactful. People may mistake your stillness for inactivity, but in reality, you are positioning pieces in your favor, waiting for the moment when resistance is weakest. Impatience comes from ego, from the need to be seen winning right now. Patience comes from confidence, from the certainty that your time will come because you will make it come. When you move with this level of calm, you unsettle those who live in constant haste. They won't understand why you don't react like they do. They will try to provoke you into premature moves, but while they expend their energy trying to be first, you conserve yours with the intention of being final seven. Detach from the need to be liked. The craving to be liked is one of the most effective chains ever placed on the human mind. It makes people obedient, hesitant, and afraid to disrupt the expectations of others. They walk through life constantly adjusting their personality, their words, even their potential just to maintain approval. But approval is a currency handed out by the crowd, and the crowd only rewards conformity. The moment you detach from the need to be liked, you stop playing by rules designed to keep you small. A Machiavellian mind understands that being respected and being liked are not the same thing. Respect builds influence. Being liked builds dependency. When you stop seeking to be liked, you become free to speak with accuracy instead of softness. You start making decisions based on advantage rather than popularity. The irony is, once you no longer chase approval, people begin to view you differently. They may not say it aloud, but they feel it. Your presence carries more weight because it is not fueled by desperation. People can sense when you don't need them, and that lack of need creates power. It shifts the dynamic. Instead of you trying to please them, they start trying to understand you. Look at those who hold real authority. They are rarely the friendliest, but their certainty commands attention. They don't beg to be accepted. They demand to be acknowledged. They understand that if everyone likes you, it means you have never taken a stand strong enough to create tension. Neutrality keeps you forgotten. Boldness, even when controversial, makes you unforgettable. Detaching from the need to be liked means understanding that conflict is sometimes necessary, that being misunderstood is part of leadership, and that standing alone with conviction is more powerful than standing with a crowd built on compromise. When you no longer fear disapproval, your actions become cleaner, more intentional. You stop explaining yourself to those who were never on your side to begin with. You stop negotiating your worth to gain a spot in someone else's circle. Instead, you build your own circle, and those who align with your strength will naturally find their place in it. When you begin to see the world through this lens, everything changes. You stop moving like the average mind that acts on impulse, reacts to every emotion, and seeks comfort in acceptance. Instead, you move like a strategist, calculated, composed, and untouchable. These 7 shifts are not just ideas, they are weapons. Strategic self-interest gives your actions purpose. Emotional detachment shields your mind from manipulation. Concealed intentions protect your plans. Control over perception grants you influence. Turning setbacks into leverage fuels your evolution. Predator, like patience, sharpens your timing, and detaching from the need to be liked gives you true freedom of action. Most people will never adopt these principles because they require discipline, self-awareness, and a willingness to break away from the emotional and social conditioning that keeps the majority tame. But those who do, those who embrace this mentality, become a different breed entirely. While others seek comfort, you will seek control. While they chase validation, you will build power. While they react, you will calculate. And once you begin to operate this way, you don't just survive in a chaotic world, you dominate it.